Hi, I'm Aisha, and we are back again, keeping it real. Today, I have with me the beautiful Mrs. Esther Mascoll of Great Kids Arete.
Yes.
Yes. So, Esther,
Hi.
I want you to be keeping it real though,
Okay.
but I want you to take me on a little journey. How did we get here with this fancy uniform? This, I believe, this fantastic school that you have. How did we get to this point? Was it easy? Did you just wake up one day and decide you want to open a nursery or a school rather? How did we get here?
Well, this journey carries me back to when I was living in Husbands, and my son picked up a book that I was just writing into, and he read it. He was 3, and he said, "Mommy, are you going to be doing these things?" And then he said, "So when are we doing this?" And I just looked at him because I was in my bed, and I was like, I don't know. Years unfolded. I was working at Robinson Ward Associates. So some days when I had break, I would go into the conference room, take out this big A4 paper, and I would basically do a mind map. Ended up doing a map on reading because I love reading. I believe that reading is the key to life, the key to success. So I was doing this mind map, and it evolved into a school. I resigned. The day after resigning, I got a call indicating to me that 4 persons would have recommended me. As far as I'm concerned, I try to keep very low key, so therefore I was at a loss. I ended up assisting this child who had what you would call behavioral challenges, and I eventually moved away from him because I figured he was good to function. His mother sought me out, and she really pressed on the fact that she really wanted me to work with her son. So I said, okay, if we're going to do this, we have to do this the right way. So I ended up registering the name Great Kids. And from there, the journey began. So it began with me helping this child. And while I was doing that, I was doing reading lessons. Unknown to me at the time, I was not fully in play with this entire vision. I love God, so I'm not sure if you will be familiar with the whole Jonah and the whale. I feel like Jonah, because my vision at the time, despite I was at the firm, I wanted to be an interior designer. So everything that you could think of as it pertains to decorating, I was doing before, but I just liked the joy of helping children. So I just saw it as me helping them and finding ways to help them to learn. And as time would unfold, it put me in a place where, or should I say, placed me in a situation where I needed to get funds, because if I'm going to do this Great Kids, and I'm using a small part of my home at that time, I did not have the resources or the equipment. So I ended up going to FundAccess, and I spoke with the director, which I didn't know that's who he was at that time. And he bought into the vision in a matter of seconds. And he made some calls, and in 2 twos, I was on a plane buying stock for this school. Came back, and I think, again, I'm thinking small, I'm thinking low-key. No, I just want to help kids. And I opened my door, and that first day, this little boy comes in. This is outside of the boy that I really set up this for. Or should I say, who pushed me to a limit which I was not prepared to. And I worked with these children. I ended up going to Urdeston. I ended up taking courses after courses because for some reason, it felt like, you know how you feel on those hot days where you just need air, or you just need a glass of water, you just need some relief. I had this drive within me that just kept me going and going to learn more, and the more I learned, the more juicier it got, and the more juicier it got, I was like, oh my God. So I just completed my master's.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm on a new journey of doing my research paper.
Okay.
So it is an exciting journey, honest to God. I love it. I am so blown away with it. I think the hardest part was attaining something that I wasn't sure if I was the right fit. So I was battling with imposter syndrome. And I was like, why me? You have all these women and teachers out there who are in it for years, and you know, they hone the space. Here is me, like, who is me? Who, like, why?
Right.
You know? But it got to a point where I think one day I was just on my bed and I was just crying, and I'm not exaggerating, but it was as if somebody was in the room, and I could only assume it was God telling me, how dare you think these things? How dare you think so little of what I can do for you? And he said, look at what I have done. And the cravings that I had and have, well, they've gotten worse. They've gotten worse. I still carry. So for example, when persons have issues with children who are not understanding certain concepts or getting certain things done, I have solutions that just come to me. I literally wake up with formulas on my mind. When I execute them, they're just working. So in doing that, I would have executed, say, for example, a particular formula. So I use the ministry's curriculum. And I introduced this formula to the girls at work. And my lowest mark that particular term, I think, was 80%.
That's
and my
fantastic.
pass mark is 85.
So let me just put a pin in that.
Go ahead.
I'm vegan. Because first of all, thank you for sharing that. I felt the passion, and I felt the drive, and I felt everything that you're sharing with me. But I know that, and you know that, there's so much more to running a business than the sheer passion.
Yeah.
Dealing with other people's children, dealing with your challenges, dealing with the finances. Were there times when you felt like giving up? Were there times when you felt like, how am I going to get this done? Tell me about those challenges.
I'm in a place now where I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get it done. But I think that, again, remember I said I feel like Jonah. I've accepted this calling, and the more I accept it, the more it unfolds. And I believe that sometimes we have to take a path that's not trodden before to be able to help others who are coming, so they don't have to fall into the same potholes that we have. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I do it? But there's some things that may be too long for this interview, but I'll say this: mindset is a big one. Your mindset, for me to level up to the next level, had to change. When you level on that next mindset and you want to go to the next level, your mindset has to change again. What has happened is the journey from having a passion to running a business, because now we are incorporated, now we have 2 locations. That means now I have to wear some hats that maybe if I had known in the beginning, I might have pulled back. So here it is. I have to deal with finance. I have to deal with marketing. I have to deal with tax. I have to deal with NAS. I have to deal with making sure they have enough money coming in to pay rent. And I never look at my children as a price tag. So because I never look at them as a price tag, I have to find ways to bring in money, because my thing is my kids have to learn. So that's a line that I'm not going to cross. I have to figure out how I generate money now to cover 2 sets of rent: light bill, water bill, staffing, paying the cleaning company every single month, trying to adhere till you should pay yourself, right? Then trying to ensure that you have enough money so that you can keep buying resources, because at the end of the day, as the kids go through resources, you need to replenish. And I have found that now that I've reached this level and I want to elevate to the next level, there are some barriers that I am seeing. So I now have to figure out if I'm going to succumb to the weight or if I'm going to find a way to play the game different.
So Esther, no, I want to know about your Lifeline. You talked about all the challenges. This is a lot. I mean, if anybody listening to you know that want to start, they may be daunted to them. How do you get help? Who do you seek out, or is it that you talk to God? How do you try to address these challenges, or who has been a big help to you, or what has been a big help to you when it comes to trying to solve things that you may not necessarily have the answers for at the moment, be it financing, be it marketing, whatever the case is. How do you manage that?
Sometimes you manage it when you have to pay the price for it. For example, if you're not doing certain things within the law that you're unaware of, you pay for it. So that's a very expensive lesson to learn. I will say, in regards to FundAccess, I think that FundAccess has, well, my officer that I have, she goes beyond. I get calls on Saturdays, I get messages, she calls me on Sundays, and she tries to ensure that she's helping me. How do I manage? I manage by trial and error. I think that is something that we can save people from. If there is something that FundAccess can do, I'm thinking that in the end, yes, you want to sell a product or a service, but it is not enough to sustain you. The initial thing was passion. And what happens here is you get something called cognitive overload or information overload. So when you first go in, you get all this information. You're supposed to do this, and you're like, okay, yeah, no problem. But it's information overload. When you have settled and you have digest everything that has happened, sometimes you only get 2% of that whole bundle of information. So the rest is lost. So when you are now being told that you have to pay $3,000 for this, or that you now have to file for this, and you're like, what? And you're like, you're like, okay, so it's in business for how much years now? And when you start to calculate, you start to sweat bullets. That's something that you could have been saved. I'm thinking if I were wearing a different shoe, one of the things I would do is I would have a checklist. If you're going to have a business, within the first year, these are the things that you need to have covered. Coming down to the end, so therefore you will have to have a system which is automated, which can, I guess, signal you or tell you when the year for X clients are coming up, have they filed for this, have they done this, so that you're basically checking in. So the same thing, or should I say the service similar to if you're going to a dentist or a doctor. Hi, your appointment is coming up, just reminding you, blah, 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 blah. So you're having these little gentle reminders, keeping you in the flow or in the know that, hey, this is my responsibility. The other part is FundAccess wants us to pay money every month, yes? And I would think that you would have someone who teaches you sales. Because at the end of the day, there's no job that I can think of which does not encompass people to pay. So therefore, if you if you are giving me money, or if I'm coming to you for money, I'm thinking that you're going to help me figure out how to make money. As much as I have a passion, the question is, are you here to make money, or are you here to fulfill a passion? So if you're here to fulfill a passion, do you just want to break even so that at least you can feel good and everyone is being paid? Or do you want to make money, even if you don't want to be a millionaire? Do you want to make enough money that you can live comfortable, that you can contribute to society? What do you want? There are no platforms that I can see which causes you to elevate to that mindset. The reality is some people don't elevate to that mindset because they may think that they're not good enough. They may think that they are not able to do certain things. Why? Because at the end of the day, if I only want to pay $5 for this, when I make a charge for my product, I may charge $4.99 because my mindset is that nobody's isn't going to want to pay that. But that's a mindset, and that's a limiting belief there. So if you have a limiting belief, my question is, are there people out there to help coach you out of that, to let you understand that there's somebody who's going to pay $499 for this product?
So you think it's realizing your value then? Is that what you're saying too? Because sometimes we sell ourselves short. That's
Yeah,
what
but how can you sell yourself short if you don't know that you're selling yourself short?
if you're not seeing the rewards, if you're not seeing the what do you say about that? Like because at the end of the day, I think that based on what you're saying, you have something good going on, but you're not seeing not the rewards, the immediate results. And I think that is what is. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's what's daunting at times? Because you know at the end of the day, it is a journey. So what do you say about this journey and not seeing the results at the beginning? Obviously that is a given that you're not going to see it, but you know, going into the middle, you're saying, well, you know what, I'm doing all of this, I'm doing all of that. What are your words of encouragement for people who are feeling daunted, as in, you know, you feel as though you're selling yourself short? What would you say to that?
I think you answered the question. If you're feeling daunted, it means that you think that your value is somehow belittled, but you can only belittle something that you think it is. Meaning, so you may not see the value in yourself to produce that, if you follow what I'm saying. But if I walk in here and I understand my value, and I show you that I am selling you a solution. So when I give you a charge, I'm not charging you for my time. I'm not charging you for a product. I'm charging you because I'm solving your problem. I'm charging you because I have the answer that best suits what you need. You understand? So if I don't understand that I am solving your problem, and I think that I am just pricing against a time frame, then I'm like, but you know, people on the market, this. So yes, I understand market price and I understand that. But at the end of the day, when you can show your value, and sometimes your value does not necessarily mean that you're going to go out there and charge immediately something. You may do a couple of things for free so people can see the value. So when you actually charge a price, you can see. So for example, we teach multisensory. So multisensory is when we teach using movement, sight, hearing, and touch, right? People mistake that for special needs. We don't cater to special needs. But because of our technique and our style, we solve problems. Right now, we have 2 nonverbal children at our school, and they are doing exceptionally well. So if I had to place the word rice and show him the picture, and there are several pictures, he can take that word and put it next to the picture. He can take cup and put it next. So you understand what I'm saying? I'm solving a problem. I think if we can move past just the whole issue of money and understand what the real aim is. Because when you start a business, yes, you want to make money. But at the end of the day, there are things that we miss along the line. So something as simple as service, greeting someone. Yes, we're closing at 5 o'clock, but when 4:30 come, hi, how are you? How can I best serve you today? That makes a difference. I used to drive from Christchurch a long time ago to Spring Garden to get gas because of service. And I know that may seem like, but you wasting gas to get gas. No. At the end of the day, every time I told someone about a gas station, it was about that. particular gas station. So I will always promote that particular gas station. Service goes so far to the point where if you have a very good product, you find that people keep coming. And I find that we are not taught enough how to keep our customers, how to upsell, how to scale up. We are not taught enough about money, how money works. When we do make our money, what do we do with it then to make more money?
Right. Esther, thank you so much for that. You give me so much information. It's so very inspiring. I want to thank you again. I want you to keep pushing on. And I'm so glad that you shared your story with us. And thank you.
Thank you.